Alright guys, HyDra back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. More cheating drama going down over the last few days with Clayster versus Parasite going at it over ranked play, but also Pred after those guys scrimmed against the FaZe Black Academy the other day. Reckoning a couple of those guys had a few clips that looked somewhat dodgy. PC check then comes into effect. Is there anything going on here? Could we have a Jimbo 2.0 on our hands in the very near future? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Scott absolutely frying here on the Skid Row as well. Skid Row P1 is definitely one of those hard points where, you know, sub players have just got to love it compared to the rest of this map. Skid Row P1 is where you do your damage if you're an SMG player, isolating the fights. That was great to watch. However, speaking of FaZe Black, we'll get to their academy in a second. They were practicing yesterday up against the Vegas Legion, the brand new Vegas Legion that has not been confirmed as a recording, but is, well, the roster they are presently scrimming with. That may change. They have until Monday to lock in a new roster. If they want to make another roster move, they can. But, well, this is JurNii's reaction after map 1 of this series. This is his reaction after map 4 of this series. So as we can see here, FaZe Black versus Vegas, the first two maps they played were not especially pretty here. This is one such example here on, I'm guessing Nero left near the end, because if he left early on, they wouldn't have continued playing 3 versus 4. So I'm guessing they just got giga slabbed here, right? And Purge had 11 kills, Geo had 10 kills, Attach had 10 kills. It wasn't pretty. Map 1 they got kind of cooked as well, 250 to 111. I'll just kind of say this is Purge's stat line here. This is Geo's at the bottom. So Purge had 15, Geo had 16, and then a few other maps happened. Geo had 17 here, Purge had this 23. Then we have Geo with 20, and Purge had the 14 on this one where they won it 250-209. So it's funny in a way, right? Because Stanley was dropped because Geo was absolutely cooking them in scrims on the FaZe Black team. He then goes in here. Lunas goes on to the other team, and this is Geo at the bottom, by the way. This is Purge with 17. They won this one 250-208. So in the end, they split the maps in this series. Despite getting slammed on the first two maps that they played, such as this one, they then bounced back. They won the Rio, they won the Skid Row, and then they actually lost 2 out of the 3 controls. And this final one was pretty ugly actually as well here when, yeah, Geo had 7, Purge had 9, Nero was trying his best, but it wasn't enough. So they got 3 there on the Karachi control to round out the series. So look, Vegas not exactly setting the world on fire with this new team, and it's not like Purge in his new role, by the way, and Geo necessarily had standout performances in this particular scrim. They have a couple of days to decide, do they want to stick with this? Do they want to revert the change and bring Stanley back in, which I don't think is going to happen? Or do they want to go one step further and make another move? Because, look, if Purge is going on to that role as an SMG player, second SMG, and given this new meta, second SMG is probably going to be used on a lot of different maps right now. They could consider another change in the role of Purge, and they've got a couple of days to figure out whether they want to do that or not. Now, I've also got to mention here for you guys, this is another thing that changed in the patch update today, the ADS idle sway. So the possibility of what we used to call crack aiming coming back into the game, or at least maybe it hasn't been used yet. Maybe pros over time will figure out this is somewhat more viable than it has been previously. So what this is really about is the change in the idle sway. So if you guys just compare the two of these, right? ADS idle sway, this is what it used to look like. So you aim down sight and you can see immediately there's some degree of idle sway. Now what it looks like, you aim down sight and your crosshairs are pretty much dead center for at least a couple of seconds before they then start to sway. So this is, you know, I think it's a good feature of the game. When you aim down sights initially, your sights should be aiming just where you're aiming, you know? There shouldn't be any sway that's throwing you off to some degree, in my opinion. But that should maybe kick in over time. That is often how it tends to go. So what, of course, this means is that if you aim down sights, then you un-ADS, then you re-ADS, you will get that benefit of absolutely zero idle sway for the first couple of seconds. This has been a feature in other games as well, when you might be holding an angle on something and then your crosshair starts to sway. So you un-ADS, you re-ADS, and then you re-center to make sure that you're not swaying again for the next couple of seconds. So that's kind of, you know, snap aiming, whatever you want to say. And JP actually mentioned there in that clip that, you know, it helps players that have really snappy aiming styles, as a guy like Dashy might well. This is when we have to talk about crack aiming, which, if you guys aren't familiar with the term, pretty much is, well, exclusive to Black Ops 4 in some sense with the Maddox. So if you guys watch any Maddox player play, from the first couple of months onwards, they will do this. I mean, you guys can see what GodRx is doing. It's snapping in and out. So ADS, 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 and, well, it basically was used because when you ADS'd, you were dead accurate, obviously, but also you can move faster. I think that's the thing that is probably still missing from this game with the MCW, that doing what GodRx is doing here doesn't allow you to move loads faster, because you see when he's aiming down sights, he moves so slow compared to when he's crack aiming, but you're still pretty much dead accurate. It hasn't really been a feature of the last few games. This small change might make it somewhat more viable, but I think there was a lot of talk about it just because, you know, Dashy was an absolute monster with the Maddox, and generally speaking, when you're talking about snap aiming and, you know, advantages in that sense, or crack aiming or whatever, Dashy's often one of the guys that comes to mind. So definitely worth mentioning, especially coinciding with lots of the talk over the last couple of weeks about should Dashy change his playstyle, is that necessary? At the end of the day, if Dashy was to change his playstyle and be more aggressive, somebody would need to get the hill time. And right now, Kenny is being very aggressive and impactful, so do you want that to be the case? Octane achieved a lot in kind of the second half of his career being the hill kitten, still shooting very, very straight. Maybe even, Octane, I'm not going to say his aim was underrated because they literally called him the human turret. But, you know, he never had the same playstyle that Dashy did back in, let's say, Black Ops 4 Dashy or even Vanguard Dashy, stuff like that. But Octane was getting the time, and it was working for Thieves with Kenny there as well. So I don't think Dashy's necessarily doing anything wrong, but there has been talk at when Dashy felt the most impactful on the team was when he was hyper-aggressive Dashy, Black Ops 4 Dashy, even maybe Vanguard Dashy, you know, taking fights, taking chows, using his aim, using his, you know, snap aim that's probably better than anybody else in the league, and having him resigned to a role sitting in hill feels like a bit of a waste. Then again, though, it's not like Kenny, Pred, Shotzzy should be struggling for kills on the map, so maybe that's the way that OpTic should work it. And of course, as we've seen, their hardpoint this season has been very good, 14-6 in stage 1, which I'm pretty sure was second best in that mode to Toronto. It was just their search and destroy letting them down, and that's not necessarily aligned with the same thing. However, speaking of some of the teammates of Dashy, we've got to talk about what happened a couple of days ago now when the FaZe Black Academy came into play. So these boys, you know, 17-year-olds pretty much, under 18 players, the next up potentially of the future, and Pred, Zuma, Asim, and who was it again? Shotzzy, right? They were scrimming against these boys, and there was a couple of moments here where Pred thought that there was some dodgy activity on the other side. They were not getting slammed exactly, there was close games, but definitely the actual pros were expecting to have not too much issue taking down these guys. But yeah, this is a moment here where Pred goes down here on the sub base. He's up here at top ice or whatever people call it, and this guy comes around the corner, you know, interestingly centered on this. It's an interesting play. I mean, I guess he must have known somehow that he was up there somehow or another, because look, I mean, the pre-aim was interesting to say the very least. Pred thought that was a bit suspect. This one on the Karachi, I don't know if there's anything in this really. I mean, look, the guy comes flying around the corner to chal him, and look, this is sometimes maybe what you do. You think a guy's coming from this spot, you jump around the corner, you pre-aim that. It was a nice little bit of centering, and he gets the kill. So then Pred goes on to say, oh, these guys are dodgy, there's something going on here. They go for like a PC check, and there was an interesting discussion on it as a result. So I'll share a couple of clips.
No one P5. I return on just keep watching.
Yeah, no one's P5.
Maybe behind me?
P5, he just checked me. Nah, this guy's so suspect, bro. Yeah, look at him centering. This guy's cheating. Oh my god, blatantly. Holy f, one's left. They know this.
Deception's is top AC. He's just laying down.
Yeah, he's cheating. Oh my god. Let's see this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, buddy. Okay.
Top AC time.
Oh, if you just saw what he done, buddy. If you just saw what he done.
Top AC right now.
Oh, there's no point of even playing. Mid. No.
Off the stream. You want to see some more shit?
I think if we, you know, I think it's very easy to just delete, hide, reset the windows. The smart move. I might start downloading cheats, stream off.
So dumb.
I think Riv just checked those logs.
But those logs have been reset, so like the logs are irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you reset them a month ago.
That is a thing. Okay, so I think a lot like AG, where it's like if somebody has hacks, they know how to hide it very easily. Like if they're publicly using it, like I feel like
as soon as Riv joined, you want to use this to go check. Like he already knew what the application was to go and check his PC. He already knew it.
Well, he's played S&D stuff.
Came in and
he's probably been checked before.
He came in and said, "Yo, you want to do this?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Well, we checked it pretty much like most people who win.
And where'd you find Riv? Where'd you find Riv, Tommy? Is he working?
I don't even know.
He's a cottage and has
He works for a
He works down the store, down the road. He's down the road at a PC store.
You know what I mean? This is crazy. I just picked up these FC Black motherfuckers. Yeah, listen, you motherfuckers cheating, yes or no? It's not good for the brand. This is not good for the brand.
I mean, I think they're fine.
Two back.
He's weak on the left. EX Grizz hitting the left, weak.
P5?
Kill Grizz on the left.
Oh, no. Yo, top server and P5.
Probably cat room.
Probably cat room. He is cat room.
He's in cat room. I just heard him bust the doors in cat room.
Yeah, this guy's cheating. He's flanking you water. Yeah, he's walling. The Grizz guy's walling. Grizz guy's walling.
Level 14 Crim is soon.
Top third.
He's shooting me. I can't do anything. Weak on time to a nid.
So the cheating discussions obviously are inevitable every so often. We've heard talks, and well, Havoc, for example, has gone back to console to play ranked because there are fewer cheaters. Not like cheaters don't exist entirely, but there are definitely fewer cheaters. It's harder to cheat on console, generally speaking, than it is on PC. And it's been a problem over the last few years. The fact that players have, maybe been PC checked, but have managed to hide the cheats. And I'm sure that there's certain cheat softwares that are trying to find ways that they can hide themselves from the PC checkers, and you know how it goes. Like, that's kind of the inevitable battle that there is right now. So you can never really fully tell if somebody's got the hacks or not. I don't think either of those clips were anything to say, oh, this guy's cheating 100%. Sure, there were some interesting pre-aims, but I wouldn't say that it's a guarantee. Maybe it was a feeling the Pred got over playing them over, a couple of different maps. But I think it's definitely worth giving these guys, the benefit of the doubt on this one. I guess the question is being a guy like Jimbo, right? Because ever since Jimbo got caught cheating, an actual pro player. He wasn't a pro player at the time that he got caught cheating, but he was a legit pro player in the league the year prior on the Paris Legion before they were the Vegas Legion. I'm pretty sure, right, way back in the day, and of course in COD Vanguard, and then was caught cheating last year in Modern Warfare 2 during the Challengers World Championship. Ever since that moment, people have thought, well, is this a far more widespread problem than we're willing to admit? And even that clip there from Parasite as well, right, when, as Clay says, Haggy dashboards when he loses to be solo queuing, you guys are just lying, or this guy's lying for interactions, and Clay's just roasting him. And then Parasite says, look, this second death that he dies to right here, this guy was straight up cheating. And this is a more interesting one, maybe just because, the way that he gets pre-aimed. Clay does reply and says, well, it was just a sound cue. But, I mean, have a look at the kill cam here. He shouldn't really know that Parasite's here, but he does seem to kind of, pre-aim that exact spot right. I mean, like right here, he seems to know that he's there. I'm guessing maybe a sound cue came into effect, or at least that's what Clay says. You guys are easy reads, audio cues are a thing. So pretty funny, I thought. But the reality is you never truly know until someone actually gets caught. So, I want to give the benefit of the doubt to these guys. But cheating discussions in competitive COD are frankly never going to go away regardless. And just before we close out here, I wanted to mention this, because on the Challenger side, there has been talk what's going to go on at the Miami event. Is there going to be a Challengers event? Are they going to be able to do it there? My understanding is, if they are going to do a Challengers event, it's not going to be at the venue where the pro matches are happening, just because of space restrictions and this type of stuff on, I think it's like a convention center type thing we're going on. So that's what's happening there. So if they are going to do a Challengers event, it's going to be further afield, somewhere down the road, which is better than nothing for sure. But I believe that's what Misfits and, Heretics really, because Misfits, Heretics, Miami, Florida, it's all kind of still the same thing. That's what they're working on, I believe, as it presently stands. So very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Just to mention, I thought these numbers have, in some sense, crept up on us in a way that CleanX has actually been a dominant force for the last few years. Like the first player, as we've seen after winning Major 1, to win a tournament in every single year of the CDL, 5-time champion, winningest player in terms of series victories for Toronto, one of only 8 players who have not missed a single league match, and then of course 2 Champs Grand Finals appearances. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.